channel. I'm Trevor and this is Andrew, the founder of QualityConnect. And today we're going to be talking about how to build a new home with a checklist.
Yes.
It's awesome. So here's a quote from Aristotle. Quality is not an act, it is a habit. Boom. That's very, very true. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's a quick stat from the city of Edmonton. Residential and non-residential builders in the Edmonton area took out permits valued at almost $1.1 billion combined in quarter 3 of 2018.
Yes.
That's a lot of building. That's including not only single-family homes, but also larger construction too. So things are still moving, folks, and that's good news. Little story about this new home thing is that majority of homes aren't completed on time due to not following a proper schedule. Not knowing the order to complete a build without major delays and budget overages because of rework. Now, Andrew, questions about this? Do you have a checklist that you use when you're managing your home builds?
Yes, definitely. It's not as simple as paint by numbers, but I try and keep it as simple as I possibly can. If you have a checklist that you go through, you just make sure you've got everything. At every stage. It's just like a grocery list. You just go through, check, got it all done, perfect, on to the next step. It just keeps everything organized and it helps prevent missing a step.
Yeah, well, just like when you are, let's say a pilot, they go through checklists, right? And if each plane has its own checklist, and if the pilot doesn't follow that checklist, then every pilot's doing something a little bit differently, and we could have a catastrophic failure.
Yes.
Right? So in building a home, it's the same thing, or doing anything really. If you have a system and a checklist in place, it's just going to help you be better and make sure nothing gets missed along the way. So now, Andrew, how long did it take you to develop that checklist?
Probably, it was a little bit of input over years. I'm continually tweaking it just to, just like anybody else does with something. You just, you find little things that are redundancies, little things. If you start missing something or there's one little step that you miss, you add in another step. If something isn't clear, building code changes, you add different things to it, different specs on different houses. So it's a combination of years, and it's a combination of a bunch of builders' checklists that I've been fortunate enough to have them share with me on this is what they do, because in reality, a well-built home helps the industry. It helps promote our reputation as a reputable industry. So everybody wants a good home out there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. That is so important, and having a good name on the industry just gives people confidence that you're going to get a well-built home.
Yeah.
So now, how detailed is your checklist?
Mine personally is not very detailed. I need more of a reminder of the step than a reminder of what the step is.
Okay.
Like cabinet markup. That's all I need to do to remember for cabinet markup. I don't need to know that it needs to be marked out in the kitchen and the bathrooms and everything like that. I just need to remember time to call the cabinet guy. Same thing with heating mark out and stuff like that, or plumbing rough in. It's more of a reminder for the step, and the rest of the due diligence is done before it's getting, when I get the estimate, when I sign the contract, when I send the purchase order out. It's more, that's when all the detail is, that's where all the detail is. So I can refer back into my files for what's going in for cabinets, but on the checklist, cabinet markup.
Yeah, so it's not a step-by-step, line-by-line, every little detail in the list. It's just a reminder or a trigger to say, okay, I have to make a phone call, an email, and let people know what the detail is on this. So the average person would look at your list and maybe not be able to go out and build a home the next day.
Yeah, no, if you have no experience, this is not going to make you a builder by printing off this PDF and going through it. But if you have a good idea on what you're doing and you know enough in the industry, this is going to jar your memory at appropriate times. That you're not going to come down, say, oh, the framer's looking for windows. I should probably order windows, and then find out that it takes them a month to get some of the windows out there.
Right.
your house is delayed a month and you're paying the framer to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a matter of, you obviously wouldn't get through the entire build without windows, but if you know at the start that you should order them when you're ordering the rest of your framing package before your framers show up, then yeah, it's a great reminder. Don't forget this step.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and that's perfect. That's what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
So now, how does having this checklist help you stay on top of your builds and getting to completion on time?
I love to schedule it in different phases
Okay.
for myself. Certain phases of the build take longer, and that gives you time to schedule your job at that stage. So, say drywall, for example. Usually, you're going to have the same company doing insulation, vapor barrier, boarding, tape, and texture. So there's a 3-week to a month, depending on the size of the crew and the size of your house, obviously.
Right.
There's a 3-week window where you have one crew on site, one company working on site. So that gives you time to schedule everything else past. That gives you, 3-week notice for the carpet, 3-week notice for tile, for hardwood, for, painters coming right away, but you should have them scheduled a little bit ahead of time. But there gives you time for, finishing, for ordering up that kind of material. That gives you that time frame. Same thing at framing. Your framers are going to take 2 to 3 weeks to knock out the house. As framing's going up, that's when you're, talking to your plumber. Hey, it looks like the framers are going to be done this time. Hey, talking with your HVAC, talking with your roofing company, siding company, everyone like that. That's when you start talking to them. So the way I group it is into the phases. So I like to, at one phase, go through and just schedule everything, and then the next phase, I schedule everything in the next phase. So I like to do them in groups, and that's what's worked best for me, and that's my own personal preference, and it works well with the trades that I work with.
Okay, so the next question would be, could a person use this checklist to run multiple builds at a time?
Yes, that's what it's designed for. That's why a lot of the big builders, all of the big builders have a checklist, is if you're trying to keep multiple jobs in your head, at some point something's going to slip. You're going to either think, did I order the cabinets for that house? You're not going to remember. You're going to have to go back in your checklist and think, and you're like, well, I've been talking to the cabinet guys so much, I must have ordered them, and it was for the last 3 jobs or something like that. So something's going to miss. If you're doing just one house and you have a lot of experience, you're probably not going to miss. You can probably keep one project organized in your head. If you've never organized one before, or it's been a while, it doesn't hurt to have a checklist.
Oh, exactly. Now, what are the major benefits of using a checklist?
Well, staying on time and staying on budget. It's another redundancy to make sure you have everything quoted out properly. So, like I said, you want to use QualityConnect at the start. You want to get your plans on there. You want to get everything priced out so that you have a budget. So you have, well, when you know if it's worthwhile. Am I trying to sell a $2 million house in Northeast Edmonton? It might not work out. So,
right.
You don't want to be one of those guys that builds a skinny home in an area that no one else has built a skinny home and try and sell it for $800,000 and have it sit forever. So you want to have a budget that you can hit. And also, then you've got everything done when it comes to scheduling, and you're going through your scheduling and you're looking and it's saying, who's doing the shelving and the rods in the closet, and you think, I don't have a contact for that. I haven't gotten that quoted out. So you're looking through, and then you're double checking to make sure that you've got everything. And certain trades need certain lead times.
So it's just going to make your life a lot easier by having a checklist, just to have those triggers in place to make the build go smoothly.
Oh yeah, like there's too many projects that sit because of poor scheduling, and some of them sit because they're waiting on someone to finally pick out a carpet color, and it's been months and months and months. And so, there are those ones, and there are the ones where people run out of money because they thought they could, build on hopes and dreams, and they thought, land costs. I paid $300 for this lot. The neighbor's selling his for $450, so that must mean building cost is $150, and they go through it like that. Where just because you think it should be $150 to build the house, doesn't mean it's going to be. So you might run out of money. But it's a great way to stay on time, stay on budget, and nobody wants to sit with a house half completed for a year. Build a house, move in, or build a house and sell it.
Yeah, those two options, that's it.
Yeah, and both people want it done quickly.
Yes.
Both your wife and if you're building for a client, everyone wants it as soon as they can.
Absolutely. So I guess that leads me to the next question is, using a checklist save money?
Yes, definitely. Not only can it save you on carrying costs and on that and having it done quicker and faster turnaround is faster money, but delays cost huge money. Having to bring somebody back, having the house just sit there, realizing that people charge. There's trades that charge for trip charges. So if you're not organized enough and trade has to come back and come back and come back, some of them it's $250 a trip charge. So you call them back 4 times for something that should have been organized at the start. There's $1,000. Not to mention you're pushing everyone back, and that's where when things are busy, you're really going to notice it in the scheduling. Is sometimes if you want to push your plumber back a week, he's got another contract he's starting that week. So he's not pushed back a week. He's pushing you back 2 weeks now because he's on another job for that week, which means then you're pushing your next trades and your next trades and your next trades, and everyone's getting pushed back. And if you have enough of that at the start, you're going to have some trades just say, you know what, you don't seem as organized. You don't seem like the organized builder that I want to work for. I'm sorry, but other builders are keeping us busy. We're going to have to pass on your job.
And you don't want to be in that position.
Yeah, then you're looking for another trade, and then you're sitting for another few weeks to get them vetted, qualified, get their specs, and then fit into their schedule.
So things can go sideways really quickly if you're not using a checklist.
Yes.
And not staying organized. So now, one more thing here. If someone has no experience building, will a checklist replace experience?
No. A checklist will not replace experience. Neither will these YouTube videos. It's like the people that try and do vehicle repair off of YouTube videos. Like when I try and cook off of YouTube videos, I can pay as much attention as I want. I go through all the checklists, and it just does not work out. You need to have some sort of experience or knowledge to back up a checklist.
Okay, so now where can people get the checklist?
Email me. Send me an email at andrew@QualityConnect.ca, and I will send it off. We're going to get it linked onto our site for people to access. We're just working on that right now. But yeah, if you want the checklist, send me an email, and I'll gladly send you the checklist. If you have any questions on what different items mean, where certain things are going to fit into the checklist, like where solar fits in, radiant in-floor heating, certain aspects like that, send me a message. I'll reply.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Andrew. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave some comments down below and let us know the topics that you'd like to hear about so we can help you become a better builder. And we'll see you guys